everybody, welcome to Mommy Musts with Mary Grace, where I talk about everything that you must know or little tips and tricks that you must do that I learned being a mom of 3 little boys. And today I'm here to talk about a really fun favorite tip of mine, which is making baby food. And to be honest, it really isn't even just making baby food. It can be making toddler food or making even big kid food, via applesauce or smoothies. But I'm going to talk about it through the perspective of making baby food. And one of the best tips that I have when making baby food is that I make it into little ice cubes. So these are black beans, and you can see my ice cube tray. You can use a regular plastic ice cube tray, a silicone tray like this, or any type of ice cube tray. And what I really do is I blend up my fruits or vegetables. You can use frozen, which is an incredible shortcut. So frozen vegetables already blanched, already cubed up for you. You can do any combination you want. There's no extra salt or sugar usually in the frozen vegetables. Just check your ingredients before you buy them. And they are a wonderful, quick alternative for busy parents. So frozen vegetables are great. I actually have some fresh apples back here that I also cubed up, and I've got cooking on the stove in some water. So fresh is great as well if you wanted to make applesauce or something like that. And then bananas and avocados, which I'll talk about a little bit separately. These actually you don't even need to put into ice cubes. They are so quick and easy. They are just wonderful. So ice cubes are great because they are kind of the perfect portion size for what you need for a baby. The ice cube for itty bitty babies, when they're just starting out, usually 1 ice cube is enough. For bigger kids, like little toddlers that are kind of progressing up into still eating pureed foods, 2 cubes works really, really well. And what you'll notice is that when you put your fruits and vegetables in here, you do need to add a little bit of water, and then you puree them until they're really, really good consistency of something very similar to applesauce. And then you put it in your ice cube tray, you freeze it down, you pop them out, and you stick them in a bag and pull out cube at a time out of the freezer and use them. I have found sometimes that when I go to defrost the cubes in the microwave, when I need to make the baby food, they can be a little bit liquidy in the bottom because of the water that I put in the blender. I just add a little bit of rice cereal to it and it's totally fine. So really kind of quick tip, frozen fruits or vegetables are great. Fresh works really well if you want to chop them up. Like I said, add some water or cook them down. Or you can do bananas and avocados without any cooking, any blender or anything. Honestly, bananas and avocados are the easiest baby food. They are just absolutely wonderful. So if you just open up the banana, let's say we put half a banana in here and you just mash it up, you will mash it very, very quickly to the consistency that you want for baby food. It's an incredible hack. So I never, ever, ever bought baby food, particularly bananas or things like avocados, because avocados are the same way. You just cut it up, put it in here, mash it up with a fork to the consistency that you need it to be for the baby, and voila, baby food is done. One of the things that I will mention when I am using a fresh fruit or vegetable is that when I cook them, I boil them down with some water until they are the consistency that I need. And then I just use a potato masher to get them mashed up. If it's a tiny, tiny baby and you need to make sure that there are no chunks at all, don't hesitate to stick it in the blender. When you put it in the blender, you can get it to that really, really finely pureed consistency that you want. Similar for something like this, if you wanted a little bit chunkier because you've got an older toddler that is able to kind of swallow those chunks and they do just fine and they're at the age where that is developmentally appropriate, go ahead and do that. If you want it really fine, just puree it. And you can, again, use a little extra water if you need to in your blender. In my blender today, I've got some cubed up squash and peas that I just got out of the frozen food section. These are wonderful fruits and veg, and I just combined them. They're great. So I can blend them up. I'll put them in my ice cube trays, and we'll go ahead and get started doing that to make our ice cubes. Okay, I think we look like we're at the consistency that I know I was hoping for my kiddo. Again, you can make this as thick or as thin as makes sense for your baby. So I really just take this and I pour it in, and it is not a very clean process. It's kind of messy, but that's okay. We really get so much from this. Not only is is it cool? It actually saved me a ton of money. So, baby food jars are like, $1, $2. I would say this was less than a half of a bag of squash, one of the small bags, and this was maybe a quarter of a bag of peas. So, I have almost no, maybe $1 at the absolute most. And I've got 4, 8, 9, 10, 11 cubes of baby food. So I have 11 meals here for an itty bitty baby, or maybe 5 or 6 for a bigger kid, a bigger toddler that's eating, pureed foods. So again, super, super quick and easy. I just take this out of the, put it in the ice cube trays. I cover it with saran wrap. I take it over to my freezer and I just freeze them. When I am done, I have these cubes that are baby food cubes. And all I do is stick them. If I'm going to keep them at home and I'm going to just pop them out as I need them, I will just leave them right in the tray. If I'm going to take them to preschool, like I had mentioned, and I'm going to stick them in the freezer at preschool, I will take them out, the cubes out, I'll put them in a bag, I'll zip them up, I'll write the name of what it is on it with our name and the date, and I put it in the freezer. And my baby's preschool teacher just pops out cubes as she needs them and adds a little bit of rice cereal if she needs to thicken it up. And there is automatic baby food. And they just let me know when they need more. It's so simple. It's so easy. And it's really, really cost effective. It saves me a lot of money. The last thing that I want to mention, and I've already talked very, very briefly about this on the back. So I do have applesauce that I'm making here, just literally cubed up apples and water. That's all it is. And when this gets to the consistency that I want, I'm going to use my masher, or I'm going to stick it in my blender and I'm going to blend it up. When I get done with that, I can freeze some down for the baby, or for my older kids that go to school and they love those applesauce pouches. I found these reusable pouches where you can put smoothie or applesauce or a combination of maybe spinach and apples, whatever you want to do in this smoothie. It zippers up just like a Ziploc, and they're reusable bags, which is so cool. So I can use actually a lot of the extra applesauce that I make and put it in these reusable pouches. And so my older kids get some and the baby gets some. So it's kind of streamlined for me to do that. So this is a super, super easy, effective technique that is actually pretty cost savings when it comes to babies that I absolutely love. Ice cube baby food is so easy, especially if you're grabbing food out of the freezer section and not chopping it up yourself. Boy, does that make it easy. Or using bananas and avocados that you just mash in a bowl in the moment that you need them. I hope that you've enjoyed this tip. I hope that you've enjoyed this trick. It is so simple, no special equipment required. I hope you've enjoyed this Mommy Must. Thanks so much, everyone.